There are two sides of the Splatoon 3 argument. The first one is that you expect Splatoon 3 to come out really soon. Splatoon 2 did come out a couple of years after when Splatoon 1 did come out, so we will get Splatoon 3 really soon based on that theory. Or the flip side to that is you think Splatoon is a one per console sort of series, just like Smash Brothers, just like Mario Kart, and we will not see Splatoon 3 until the next Nintendo system, whenever that will be. Let me know what side of the argument you are on in the comments section below. But if we aren't getting Splatoon 3 until the next system, then we could be waiting quite a while for Splatoon 3, just because in their latest financial results, Nintendo's president Shuntaro Furukawa, probably might pronounce that wrong, but this is what he had to say about the length of the Switch generation. According to the conventional wisdom for dedicated video game platforms, Nintendo Switch should be entering the midway phase of the hardware life cycle, but we believe we have built a foundation on which we can pursue further growth opportunities for Nintendo Switch. That sounds like to me that Nintendo want the Switch to last longer than the typical 6-year sort of period that consoles do last before we do get the next system. So the Switch did come out in 2017. Maybe normally we would see the next sort of system in 2022, 2023. Probably 2023 would be the most likely year in a normal situation, but it seems like that the next system, say like if it is the Switch 2, it may not come out until 2024 at the earliest, so we could be waiting until then for Splatoon 3 to come out. I don't know how I feel about that. I would of course love to see Nintendo go all out for Splatoon 3. They spend the time to make the next game be a really significant jump, a really significant leap from Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 3, a much bigger leap than what we did get from Splatoon 1 to Splatoon 2, but still keep the core gameplay. I've talked about this before when talking about Squeaky's project Splatoon 3 on the channel. So yeah, that sort of development time, so like if they are now starting working on Splatoon 3 and they do have from now 2020 up until 2024, then that will give them enough time to develop a really ambitious Splatoon 3. So yeah, if that is the case, if we aren't getting Switch 2 until like 2024, then we might have to wait even longer than that. It might not even come out launch year like what Splatoon 2 did come out in 2017. It did come out in the launch year for the Switch. We might have to wait even longer than 2024 for Splatoon 3. So yeah, like what I said, I definitely want Splatoon 3 to be ambitious, but I'm not sure how I feel about waiting or potentially waiting that long for Splatoon 3. I think if that is the case, say like if that made up scenario is real, we do have to wait 2024 or later for Splatoon 3. I'm not sure what the state of the franchise would be. I don't want to see Nintendo do what they have done with other franchises where they wait ages for another new entry. I think we should get a spin-off game or multiple spin-off games to fill that wait. I don't want to see a situation where we have to wait from now until 2024 or potentially later for the next Splatoon experience. We should get something in between then on the Switch. Now let's just say we do take those comments from Furukawa at face value and the Switch will be lasting until 2024. That doesn't necessarily mean we might not get the next generation system until then. Nintendo could easily release a system before then, whether it be the Switch 2 or something completely different. Them supporting the Switch beyond the typical sort of console sort of life cycle, it doesn't necessarily mean we will not get the next gen before then. Who knows, the Switch sales might slow down before then, forcing Nintendo to, make a next gen system, or maybe we might see a situation where we might not get a lot of third-party games on the Switch due to the arrival of the PS5 and the Xbox Series X. We might get the next generation system before then. We have seen situations where Nintendo have supported their previous hardware with games, even though we did get another new system come out. It happened with the DS, it happened with non-Nintendo consoles as well. It happened with the PS2. The 3DS still got supported from Nintendo, even though we got the Switch. Them saying that they expect the life cycle of the Switch to last longer than a typical sort of dedicated video game platform. It doesn't necessarily mean we will have to wait until 2024 for the next gen system. The next gen system could come out sooner than that, and Nintendo would still release games on the Switch, and maybe the Switch 2 would be backwards compatible. They will necessarily not neglect the install base that they did build up on the Switch. We would still get games on the Switch even though the Switch 2 would come out. So them saying that the dedicated video game platform life cycle might not fit the Switch, it might last longer than that. What it could mean is, yes, we could have to wait until 2024 for the Switch 2, or Nintendo will release a next gen system but still support the Switch with new games for a couple of years whilst people are transitioning over to the next gen system. So yeah, it is a little bit up in the air at the moment. If we do have to wait until the next system for Splatoon 3, which is my sort of point of view in terms of the whole argument of when I think Splatoon 3 will come out, I think we will have to wait until the next system. And yeah, if that is the case, then yeah, maybe Nintendo will wait until 2024, 2025 for the next gen system to arrive. And who knows, like what I did say earlier, even if we did get a next gen system, it doesn't necessarily mean that Splatoon 3 will come out straight away on that system, although I think that would be the smartest thing to do, to move over the Japanese audience over to the next gen system. Nintendo should definitely release Splatoon 3 as soon as possible. So yeah, this is all just speculation based on what Furukawa had to say in the financial meeting. I just found those comments to be really interesting. Let me know your thoughts about that in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on potentially waiting until 2024 for the next system, and then we might have to wait a little bit longer for Splatoon 3. Would you be prepared to wait that long? I guess it all depends on what the final product will turn out to be. If it is ambitious, then I think I would be perfectly okay with waiting that length of time, as long as we did get spin-off games in the meantime that did explore other sort of aspects of the Splatoon universe, maybe in different genres as well. Maybe we might get a Splatoon racer, or a Splatoon 2D platformer, or a Splatoon RPG, exploring elements that the main numbered franchise maybe necessarily wouldn't explore. A spin-off game in a different genre would be perfect to sort of fill the gap, to fill the wait. I definitely don't want to wait from now until the next gen system. If it is going to be in 2024, or 2025 without there being another Splatoon experience. Here's what I personally think will happen. I think the Switch will end up being like the 3DS, where it did go on for a long period of time. A lot of people saying, oh, kill the 3DS, kill it now, let's just move over all of the games over to the Switch. I think that situation will happen with the Switch. I think the Switch 2 will be the next gen system. It will come out before 2024. I think 2023, I think that is when it will come out. But Nintendo will release sort of remakes or sort of ports of their older sort of library over to the Switch during when the Switch 2 is coming out. That is like the only sort of experience you will get on the Switch. Maybe Game Freak will release Pokemon games for the Switch until the Switch 2 does build up a good install base. That is what Game Freak typically do. They did release Black and White 2 on the DS, even though the 3DS was out. Of course, we did get games like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon on the 3DS, even though we did get the release of the Switch the same year. So yeah, I think the same will happen with the Switch, where pretty much it will go on until 2024 and 2025, but we will get a next generation system before then. I don't think we will have to wait until 2024, 2025 for the next gen system. But like what I said before, even if a next gen system did come out in 2023, that is what I am thinking, then we might have to wait until 2024, 2025 for Splatoon 3. Maybe we will see more simultaneous releases like what we saw at the start of this generation, how we saw Breath of the Wild come out on the Wii U and Switch. It happened on the GameCube and Wii with Twilight Princess. Maybe we will see games that will come out on the Switch and the next gen system. Maybe that is what Nintendo are referring to. We know that Microsoft are doing it with Xbox Series X, where games exclusives will work, like Halo Infinite for example. It will work not only on the Xbox Series X, the new system, but it will also work on the Xbox One family of systems. So maybe that is what Nintendo are referring to. Maybe that is how Nintendo are thinking that the Switch has the potential to last longer than the typical sort of console generation. Or maybe, like what I said earlier, they will still release games for the Switch. Maybe not necessarily new games, but maybe just remasters of like Wii games, GameCube games, ports of Wii U games, ports of 3DS games. I could see like Mario Party, the top 100, getting ported over to the Switch. Samus Returns could get ported as well. There is the potential to port over some of the lesser sort of known Wii U titles as well, like Game & Wario. That is something that they could do during the end of the Switch's life cycle. So yeah, that is maybe what Nintendo are referring to in those comments made by Furukawa at the last financial meeting. Here is something that I haven't considered so far in this video, and that is what is happening in the world right now. Everything has been grounded to a halt, and that is no different with game development. It could push back every single thing that Nintendo has planned, including the next gen system. So again, that could play a role in terms of when we do get Splatoon 3. But look, I am not going to pretend to know everything. Who knows, maybe Splatoon 3 will come out on the Switch. It will come out 2021, 2022, or who knows, maybe we will have to wait longer for the next generation system. I just thought it was really interesting to see those comments from Furukara, and yeah, just wanted to sort of talk about those comments and how it could affect when we will get Splatoon 3. So yeah, apologies for the ramble fest, I must apologise about that. I just wanted to get everything off my chest in one single video. So yeah, of course, whenever we do get leaks or news for Splatoon 3, I will cover them on the channel. But that's pretty much it with this video. I definitely am looking forward to hearing what you have to say about this. When do you think the next gen system will come out? And yeah, when do you think Splatoon 3 will come out? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. But yeah, that's pretty much it with this video. And yeah, we'll see you in another video soon, hopefully.